Hey folks, so here we are on day 2 of our session, and we'll get a little bit more vigorous today with our body practice, but let's begin just as we did yesterday with just some basic warm-ups. We'll do them a little more quickly. We'll move through them a little more quickly now that you know them. So let's start with one foot, circling in one direction, and then the other. Let's do a little pointing and flexing. And the other one. You might need a wall or a chair, or you might be able to get a facsimile of it if you just put your toes on the floor. And then we'll move on to the knees. And everything above, of course, warms up what's below. So if we go a little light on some of these, we'll still get them warmed up. Remembering that tip about timing breath to movement, other direction. Remember to take care of your body, don't overdo. If you're used to body practice, you can intensify anything we do or add your own variations in. And hips. But if you're not accustomed, then don't push too far, because the object is to make the body more comfortable, not to make it sore. And circling in the other direction. You can explore where in the range of motion feels good and where might feel like too much. And of course, you can always do these later or in the morning before you start sitting. Just a nice simple way to warm the body up. You probably recall from yesterday that we had this swinging of arms and twisting of the back and hips. We soften it a little by pointing the foot in the direction we're already swinging. And really encourage the arms to just swing really freely. This Qigong method of slapping the adrenals by the kidneys and the lung points, you can incorporate if you want. It's kind of enlivening. And then slowly unwind. Okay, let's do the shoulder rolls. Start with a few forward rolls, just because it's good to do them in each direction. Of course, this accentuates the normal way we tend to curve, so we want to do more of the other ones. So just to touch in on the breath, I'm inhaling, rolling the shoulders back, lifting the chest on the inhale, exhaling, let them drop, bring the shoulder blades together. For some reason, it feels good to have some rising and falling in the legs. That's up to you. And then let's try the one forward, one back. On one side and then on the other. Don't worry if you can't do it, or can't do it without at least practicing it a little bit. It's hard, but it kind of gets that upper part of the back and base of the neck in a way nothing else seems to. Let's do a few, actually you can do this variation or the arms outstretched. We're going to roll them along with the shoulders backward. Just a few times. If it becomes too much for your arms, then do this variation. We're doing both. Okay, so let's do the neck. And you might remember the mnemonic device for that is yes, no, maybe so. Okay, so we're going to do the nodding yes first. Again, you don't have to lift the chin up and take the neck back if that doesn't feel good. In fact, if it doesn't feel good, I wouldn't do it. If you are doing that, it helps to inhale, lift the chest, and think of the crown of the head pointing back towards the corner where the wall meets the ceiling. So it's extending rather than crunching. But if all you do is come up to center and go forward, that's still going to help your neck. Okay, so that's the yes. The no is inhale center, exhale over one shoulder, inhale back, exhale over the other. You don't have to be in a hurry. And you don't need to overstretch. You don't have to go to your full range unless you're accustomed to doing this, in which case you do what you're accustomed to doing. We just don't want the body complaining about what we've done when we get back to sitting. We want the body to be happy about what we've done with movement. So the maybe so movement is like this. Inhale center, exhale to one side, inhale center, exhale to the other. Again, even though we are bending the neck and head, we're also working with extension, that sense that the crown of the head is extending towards the crease between the wall and the ceiling. So it's not just crunching. Most of the stretch is meant to be on the side opposite from the side you're bending towards. So there's no need to crunch the head down because the stretch is happening either way. Now let's do some circles. If you don't want to bring your head back, or if it doesn't feel good for your body, I would suggest not doing it. If you're used to doing neck rolls or you're quite sure that your neck can handle it, then you can roll the neck forward and back. But again, be mindful, really have the attention in the body. Neck's rolling and extending. When the neck goes back, let's go the other direction. It's good to lift the chest because that takes some of the pressure off the neck. Since we're lifting the chest, it makes sense to inhale at that point. If your shoulders want to move along with the motion, I think that's fine. Okay, now let's just do 10 straight up and downs. You can go slowly if that feels better, or fast shrugs if that feels good. I lost count, but that's about 10. Okay, let's do the pencil stretches upward, and then we'll get into a little bit more actual stretching today. But the first variation you might remember is inhaling up, and then hands turn kind of inside out like that, clasped. You don't have to lower them, I'm just doing that to show you. So they stretch up toward the ceiling. If it feels good to you to incorporate a little back bend, that's great, but lift the chest, don't overdo. draw the navel towards the spine. Really draw it in to protect the lower back if you're going to go backwards at all. Let's do that again. And always breathe when we're in any of these positions, even if it's a holding position. And exhales tend to have a natural relaxation capacity. So I tend to inhale, move into the pose, exhale, relax into it. And then on an exhale, bring the hands down. Let's shake out the whole body and any part that feels like it could use more shaking. So there's this rattling the bones exercise comes from Qigong. It's just shaking out everything in the body. You can be intense about it or mild. Just be mindful about what your body wants to do and what it doesn't want to do. We're just loosening up all the joints at once. And there's no harm looking silly. It's great ego practice. Right. Oh, that feels good. Down with a few jumps. I like doing that. You can take a minute to just shake out arms, wrists individually, legs individually if that feels good. Okay, I want to do that upward reach again. But this time we'll do it with a side bend to each side. When you're doing the side bend, that's really the time to draw the navel in towards the spine to protect your lower back. So, same thing, reach up, hands clasped, turn over, take a breath or two here. It's okay always to shake your head out a little bit if the neck feels bound. On an exhale, we'll go over to one side. Again, stretching everything into extension. A couple breaths here. Belly draws back. Extending towards the far wall, ceiling joint. On an inhale, we'll come back. Exhale to the other side. You can always drop your arms and step out of anything if it's too much. A few breaths here. Inhaling back up. Another stretch and a little back if you feel like it. Otherwise, on an exhale, we can just bring the arms down. Let's do a little bit of a different behind the back stretch from the one we did yesterday. This time, we're going to join the hands like this. And to the extent which feels comfortable, lift the chest, roll the shoulders backward and together. You don't have to overdo, just to the extent that feels good. And then we're just going to lift as high as feels good and hold it for a few breaths. Now, some people find if they bend their elbows, they get a better stretch. Some people find if they keep them straight, it's better. You can look up if you want, lift the chest if you want. Draw your belly back towards the spine if you're stretching upward or back. Breathing. When you're ready, release. Shake out arms, shoulders. Okay. Let's move into a little bit more active stretching. Forward bending. First, I'd like to invite us to just take your legs wide apart. And hands go to hips, and just as wide as is comfortable. But again, just to work with a little warm-up If we bend one knee and then the other, obviously take care of hips and knees. If you have any doubt about them, take it easy, take it slow. This should feel good. Again, if you time it with the breath, that's more effective. I'm inhaling to center, exhaling to one side, then to the other. Okay, and let's just come back to the center. Feet should be parallel, although if it feels better for your body, it's fine to have them turned a little bit out or a little bit in. So we're going to bend right from the hip joint here. And for the first time, it's helpful to just keep the hands here. And we're going to lift up a little back if it feels good. If it doesn't, then just straight up. You could draw that belly towards the lower back again. On the exhale, we'll come forward, bending from this crease here. And we're going to walk the hands down the legs, only as far as they want to go. And when you find you've got a satisfying feeling stretch in the hamstrings and lower back, then you can just stay here for a few breaths. Drop the head if that feels good. If you're used to doing this and you can reach the floor, great. You don't have to be stuck to the legs. But do something to support your weight so the legs are there to do that. Just breathe. Noticing that relaxation response that goes with the exhale. You don't have to go farther than you want to. To protect your back, the safest way to come out is to walk your hands up the legs. This is a common yoga pose, so if you already do it, you know what your body can do and what it can't do. But in general, if you can support some of your back weight with the legs when you're coming out, that's a smart way to be safe. Okay, this time we're going to go forward again, and we're going to walk our hands over to one leg, then back to the center, and then back to the other leg. So again, inhaling up, getting the back straight, feeling this crease. You can go a little bit back if you want, belly towards lower back, exhaling forward. First, we're just going to go to the center like we just did. On an exhale, we'll take an inhale here. And then we're just going to take the hands to one leg. Either one will do. Doesn't matter where, high or low. And we're just going to sink towards that foot, towards that leg. Just for a few breaths. Okay, and then we can walk back up that leg if we want to, back to the center for a breath. You might notice that you're already looser in that forward bend. If it feels okay for your body, you can cross your arms and let your arms and your head and neck dangle. That can feel good if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. And then we'll walk over in whatever way seems sensible to the other leg or other foot. If you need to come up in between, please do. Take care of yourself. And we're bending for a few breaths towards this other foot. Walking back towards center. Take a breath at center if we wish. Whenever we're ready, we can just walk up the legs until we're standing again. So, I want to use a forward bend to come down to the floor. And the way we'll do that is we'll have our feet between hip and shoulder width or together as is comfortable. On an inhale, we'll lift up, stretch towards the ceiling. On an exhale, bend the knees a little bit and just a gentle swan dive forward. Bending the knees protects the lower back. You can walk your hands down your legs, whatever feels good. We're just going to hang out here for just a minute or two. If it feels good to keep the back straight and extended, that's great. If you want to fold over, as long as you're folding from the hips, that's fine. And now, come out of there. Let's just step back so we're on the floor. And again, we're in this tabletop position where we can do the cat and cow move. So your feet can be with the toes tucked under like that, or they can be extended, whatever feels good. We're just going to do a few normal cat-cows. Arching upward, arching down, being mindful of the breath. I'm exhaling up, inhaling down. But you can also do it the other way. When you're arching down, there's a tendency for all the stretch to go into the lower back. See if you can bring some of it into the upper. When you're coming up, the opposite's true. It tends to go in the upper. So see if you can include the rest of the back. We'll come back to center. And let's just gently look over one shoulder, doesn't matter which one, towards the back wall or towards our foot if we can see it. Breathe, just getting a gentle side bend. You can inhale back to the center, and same thing on the other side. Just to the degree that's comfortable. You can obviously feel it across the opposing side. Taking a few breaths here. And then inhale, we'll come back to center, and again, go to child's pose. It's a good resting pose, but it's also a very good stretching pose. So we'll do a little more with it today. It's okay to do child's pose with your knees together, if that feels better for your body. I like to take them apart, and that just seems to get a better stretch in the hips. Again, we're bending forward from the hips. If you need a cushion under your head, please use one. We're stretching the arms out, 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 forward. And then we're just going to relax in place for a couple breaths. Just let gravity take us. Once you're down and relaxed, you might want to walk the fingers a little further forward. It's a really nice stretch for the upper back and shoulders. Use that exhale to just sink into gravity. So we'll take an inhale, and on an exhale, we're going to walk the hands over to one side. Other than that, it's the same. We're just getting a diagonal stretch. Your head doesn't have to come to the floor if that doesn't work for your body, just whatever works. breathing. And then back to center. And we'll do the same on the other side. Taking a few breaths here. Okay, back to center. Probably using your hands to push yourself up is the gentlest way. I want to have time for us to do a little bit of a guided relaxation. So let's make ourselves comfortable on our back on the floor. Feel free to, if you have a blanket, grab a blanket. If that helps you feel comfortable, put something under your head or neck if that helps you feel comfortable. Okay, and we're going to do a little bit of tensing and releasing of the body to really help us sink in. So starting with the feet, tensing up the feet, not the face, just the feet. Holding, holding. On an exhale, let them go halfway. Inhale. On an exhale, let them go halfway again. Inhale. On an exhale, let them go all the way. Just let gravity take the feet. If you're doing this on your own, you can do indefinite halfways. You can do halfways indefinitely, on, and they just get more and more deeply relaxed. So now lower legs up to the knees, calves, shins, and you can include the feet, again, if they want to be involved. Tightening, holding. Big inhale. On an exhale, let them go halfway. Inhale again. Exhale, let them go the rest of the way. You can stop short again if you want and do it once more. Inhaling, exhaling, just that last little bit. Let gravity just take your body. You don't need to hold it up if you're lying on your back. Okay, hip, lower back, sacral region, lower belly, tighten, tighten up, hold, hold. On an exhale, let it all go halfway. And hold it there. Next exhale, let it go more. Hold it there. Inhale, exhale, let it go all the way. Now our mid and upper torso, shoulder blades, chest area, just anything that's clenchable. That feels connected there, clenching, holding, tightening. And exhale, let it all go halfway. Hold it there. Inhale, next exhale. Let it go halfway again. Hold it there. Inhale. Exhale, completely surrendering the whole torso to gravity. Now arms, hands, shoulders, base of the neck, lower part of the neck, clenching, holding, holding. Exhale, release halfway. Next exhale, release another halfway. Next exhale, the remainder. Just let the floor take arms, shoulders, lower part of the neck. Lastly, face, head, jaw, upper part of the neck, anything that feels clenchable. Tighten, hold. On an exhale, let it go halfway. Next exhale, halfway again. Next exhale, sink all the way to the floor. Okay, now to close, whole body. Big inhale, tighten up everything from head to toe that feels tightenable. Hold it. Exhaling, let it go. Halfway. Inhale, next exhale, halfway again. Inhale, next exhale, the whole body relaxes, sinks towards the floor, just like gravity taking. If you have the time to do so, I'd encourage you to spend a few more minutes in corpse pose. It's good training for the inevitable, right? And it's very relaxing. And I'll see you all tomorrow for more body practice.